Yo, 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 what up YouTube? Welcome back to the Nasty Nate channel. Today we are talking about lift pumps and why every diesel truck should have a lift pump installed. So I went with the AirDog lift pump with a sump kit, which we will explain in a little bit. I actually went with the AirDog setup for my Suburban project, which you see behind me. If you haven't been paying attention to the channel, make sure you subscribe down below because we are swapping an LBZ, which is back over in that corner. I'll show you in a second. But we are putting the LBZ in the GMC Yukon Suburban chassis here. And basically I'm going to do a lift pump setup for the fuel system, which is gonna make it way easier. And the lift pump just makes it better all around for the Duramax engine setup. Wanted to give a huge shout out to Truckmaster. I'll have his channel linked below. If you guys haven't checked him out recently, his channel has been absolutely blowing up. He has a lot of videos on AirDog lift pump setups or just different lift pump setups, but I want to explain to you why you guys should run a lift pump on your diesel truck. Let's be honest, I'm gonna say probably 75% of diesel trucks are bought because you're either gonna tow with them, tow something super heavy or big or whatever, work with them every day, or you bought it because you like the diesel setup and you are going to tune it or add different performance mods to make a bunch of power, because these trucks are absolute animals when you start doing stuff like this to them. So one of the first things you guys are going to want to do to the fuel system is a lift pump setup. So let's get this stuff opened up and we'll kind of explain what everything does, and then in the future I'm going to show you how to install this, and it's actually going to be on my Suburban. So that's going to be a whole fuel system video that I will talk about in the very near future. It's going to be almost exactly the same as installing a lift pump setup on your regular, you know, 01 to 2010 body style Duramaxes. This is just going to be on a different chassis. So here we go, let's open this up and we'll start talking about it. All right guys, a few really cool things about this thing before we get started. The AirDog 2 4G DF165. These things are perfect setups for just about any truck. This will support up to 1,000 horsepower, or you can run it on a completely stock truck like we will be doing on the GMC Yukon LBZ swap. But the DF stands for demand flow, so depending on how much horsepower you are trying to run, it does not matter. The AirDog will support it. These things are awesome because you do not have to drop the tank to install these. Also, we're going to be installing a Bean Machine sump kit. That will also allow us to install this and not have to drop the tank. I'll explain the sump kit and installing this in a future video. It's going to be a very similar install to a regular LBZ, but we are going to do the sump kit because we have a different style fuel pump on top of the tank because we are doing the Suburban swap. Like I said, that's a whole nother video. I will cover everything down to a T, so if you are doing the swap, you will know what to do. But in the future video, it's going to be a straightforward install, and then I'll just have a little clip showing what we're going to do to the Suburban fuel tank, so you will be able to watch that video and know how to install it on any 01 to 2010 truck. Let's get started on why you need a lift pump right here. One of the first reasons why you should install a lift pump on your truck is because what your factory truck is doing is it has an injection pump. What that injection pump is doing is sucking fuel through all the fuel lines from the back of the truck up to the engine. So a lift pump is just going to provide fuel to the injection pump through these lines. It's going to basically pump it to the injection pump so the injection pump is not working harder, especially when you're towing or under a load, when you're on full throttle, anything like that. This is going to provide more than enough fuel for your injection pump, and it'll keep up with everything. This is going to save your injection pump in the long run. Let me show you exactly why you want to save your injection pump. So this is an LBZ Duramax. This is going to be very similar for most Duramaxes. You're going to see all kinds of stuff around here. This is going to be the Y bridge right here, the factory Y bridge down here, then basically some of the coolant hoses, thermostat housing. The CP3, which is the injection pump, is way down here. This fuel line is going into the injection pump. So if you could imagine this in your truck, you have to take all this stuff off to replace your injection pump. Not to mention, these are insanely expensive. I mean, these are almost $1,000 alone. So if you're gonna upgrade that or whatever, just imagine how much that's going to cost, especially if you're gonna pay a shop to do this. It's gonna be hours and hours of labor. You want to save your injection pump using a lift pump. That is the #1 reason why you should install a lift pump. Coming back over here to the #2 reason, your lift pump is going to provide way better filtration for your fuel. So this is going to be a filter right here, and this is going to be your water separator. What your factory truck has is basically a small filter that does both at the same time. This is going to filter the fuel way better and provide the cleanest fuel possible. This not only is going to save your injection pump, it's actually going to provide cleaner fuel to your engine, which is going to save your injectors over the long run. The injectors on your truck are going to be the second most expensive thing to replace, and if you have to replace either all 8 of them or all 6 of them on a Cummins, either way, they are a couple $100s a piece. So you could imagine how expensive that gets if you're replacing injectors. I've heard of plenty of people replacing all the injectors on their truck for factory style injectors. You know, you're going to pay $3 grand just for factory injectors to be installed on your truck. So this right here could save your injectors over the long run also. So this is going to be just an amazing upgrade to your truck, even if you are not trying to make more power, even if you're not trying to pull more or tow more, anything like that. This is going to save your fuel system in the long run and basically save you money. So it is worth it from that aspect already. One of the really cool features on an AirDog setup is this right here. This right here is a screw that you can adjust and then tighten this nut to lock it in place. And this is going to change the fuel pressure that is getting delivered to your engine. One reason that this is very important is some of the earlier style Duramaxes, LB7s, LLYs, LBZs. I don't know if LBZs had this problem or not. Somebody might chime in the comments. But basically they have a fuel injection control module. The earlier style Duramaxes have a problem where when the truck gets warm, the engine basically wants to have around 5 PSI provided to the motor at all times. If there is any more or any less, your engine is going to run very bad. It's going to lope and just sound like it's kind of struggling at idle, and it's not going to run as good as it could be. So this is super cool. This, you have the ability to adjust that. Some lift pumps do not come with this, but the AirDog always comes with that. So this is basically a super good design on these AirDogs. Another cool thing with the AirDog kit is they come with these brackets that sandwich your frame, so you can adjust wherever you want to mount this lift pump. Have tons of adjustability. I'm gonna have to mount mine right in between the front door and the rear door, I believe, or somewhere around here. And I basically want to have it as high up as I can so you don't see these filters hanging down too low. If you see the filters, I don't think that's too big of a deal. I just don't want to see the whole thing. There are other setups where you have to mount them to a body mount or a bed bolt, and that's just not going to be the best option, especially on a Duramax swap on a Suburban like this. This is a better option for mounting your lift pump. You're going to be able to change the height and basically mount it on your truck wherever you want. I want to explain this DF lettering in front of the 165 4G on your lift pump. So huge shout out to Truckmaster. Again, Truckmaster, you kill it. I love watching your videos. Watch every single one. I am a Duramax channel. Like you see, I've got the LBZ single cab right here, and we've got the LBZ GMC Yukon swap going on. But he explains in his video this demand flow very well. I'll try to explain it like he did. Basically, this is going to provide exactly the amount of fuel that your engine is demanding. So if you are idling, it's not going to give too much fuel. If you're under wide open throttle, it's going to give enough fuel to basically keep up with how you're driving the truck. So that is demand flow. Not all lift pumps offer this, but the AirDog 2 4G has the demand flow capabilities. So if you're running 1,000 horsepower on your truck and you're full throttle, it's not going to run any different than you're running at idle. It's not going to be providing too much fuel. It's not going to be providing too little fuel. It's going to basically make your truck run as good as it's ever going to be, provided your tunes are doing what they're meaning to do. Guys, I hope this helps you out picking a lift pump for your truck. It's definitely going to benefit you in the long run. Your lift pump is going to save a lot of parts in your fuel system. And I wanted to say, if you guys are interested in anything Duramax, make sure you check out the channel because we are doing a Duramax swap in the Suburban. I've got a ton of Duramax content on my single cab truck, and I just cannot wait to show you how we are going to install this on the Suburban. Make sure you stay tuned to the Nasty Nate channel right down below. Hit subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.